now. So yeah, welcome to our strategy session for today. We do these Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday currently at 12 p.m. East. Small crowd today. I'm actually having trouble. I don't know if you guys, if somebody in the chat can let me know. I can't, the past 2 days, I can't get Facebook to load the Facebook group on my computer. It's been really weird. And I've tried multiple browsers. I cleared cookies and everything. So I don't know. Are you guys having this experience? Because I wasn't able to post the invite to the group or anything like that. Just let me know in the chat. If you have anything else that you'd like for me to talk about in the chat today, basically these sessions are just about, riffing a little bit on some ideas and, basically giving you guys a way to kind of talk strategy, growth marketing for your real estate business. I can field questions and see if I can help and, get some participation from other people listening. So if you've never been here, the recordings are always posted to insiderealestate.com/webinars, which is a page that looks like this. You click on the green button and you can see everything we've been doing over the past couple of weeks. So you can scroll back hours and hours of action-packed content. So I usually come with a few quick things to talk about. On my mind this morning, didn't have a lot of time to prepare, but on my mind this morning was some productivity stuff. So let's just do productivity stuff. And this would be kind of like, the miscellaneous things that can save you time or help keep you organized. And we probably won't talk a lot about KB Core in particular today, but I like to kind of occasionally talk about this stuff because I think every time, I do, or anytime I see somebody else talk about this stuff, I always get a tip, and I hope maybe you can get some inspiration or ideas. So if that's all right, we'll dive in there, and I'll just kind of go through a few things that I do personally, and maybe you guys who are watching live can just maybe share some of the tools and techniques you use with respect to making your day flow a little more efficiently. Real estate, as we all know, it's really easy to get in the weeds and waste a lot of time, be pulled in 1,000 different directions. So if you can set up some of these sort of productivity systems and tools, of course they can save you time. Almost goes without saying. So one of my favorite tools, and I was reminded about how much of a favorite this is for me the other day when my daughter, about a week or two ago, my daughter logged in to a laptop that I gave her, one of my old laptops, and my wife deleted all of the bookmarks I have up top. And these bookmarks were like my lifeblood. Now I know I need to figure out how to save all these, but they're all gone. So all the things I access across all the weird, wacky things I have going on, I like to put them into folders. And this in general keeps me pretty organized. It's kind of the foundation of what I do. And if I have something that kind of like I want to look at later, I'll drag it up in the bookmarks, knowing that I don't want these ugly links that are standalone. What I like to work with, and I realize this might be small for you guys watching, but in this browser right here in Chrome, I like to work out of these folders. You see, I have a folder here for my personal trading stuff, IRE, Inside Real Estate, my job there. I have pay-per-click links, and I used to have a lot more that I'm slowly rebuilding. But the idea with this productivity thing is that you take the sites that you visit frequently and you throw them into these folders around the different areas of your life. So if you know getting things done, for example, use any kind of category like that, you could kind of separate these out into your roles. If you're familiar with David Allen's getting things done, is it David Allen? Really good book, by the way, if you haven't read it, about productivity. Probably wrote it in the late 90s or 2000s or something. But he talks about, I believe he talks about roles in your life and kind of splitting things up into projects. I could be confusing him with another productivity expert, so don't call me out on that if I have it wrong. But basically, these bookmarks become the different areas. So like I have my main day job. I like to have a hobby where I trade stocks and crypto and stuff. And then I have like a startup, which I'm ashamed to not have a folder for, but usually I do if my wife hadn't deleted it. And then you can go in here and quickly, like every time I need to go do a pay-per-click ad, I have all my Facebook and Google accounts under here. I have all the different things I need here. So the way to create these is really simple. And I apologize if this is really basic. Like I said, I know some people get some benefit out of this, but you can right click in Chrome and you can click add folder like this. And I'm going to put thanks.io here. There's my project that I don't have there. I've lost all the links for. So I have that there. And then I might do something like this. Well, where do I go to log into that? So I go here, right? And I get the URL that I need. And you can drag the little gear, right, in Chrome. This probably works the same in Microsoft Edge and Firefox, by the way, almost very similar. But I grab the little gear where the lock is, and I can drag it in right here. And then I can right click and I can rename this. So I can do edit and I can say dashboard login. So anytime I have something that I find myself kind of hunting and pecking for in my email or that I'm going to frequently, I like to throw them in these banners and in these bookmarks. And the nice thing about Chrome is that, of course, these will sync across all your devices. It's a nice thing, but when they get deleted on your daughter's laptop, it's a really bad thing. Here's an example. Like I have an appointment. I just did this like tomorrow with a guy and I was like, oh, I want to remember, you know, the login link for that. So I just dragged it there. It's ugly. And every morning I'll look up here and I'll kind of put these into different buckets. So I don't know. I figured maybe some of you guys would find that useful. I need to get one going again. I had for my personal real estate practice. So Forever Florida State, right? So I might do this and then I would go to kvcore.com to log in, right? Right, there's my login to KV Core. So I'll drag this in there. And then what you could do, and I've done this with systems to save time, if you find yourself, say, going in frequently and building out a squeeze link, for example, right? So let me just get into my account here. I could then drag bookmarks for all the different things in KV Core underneath my real estate practice. And you can even do subfolders. So let's just roll with this for a minute. So there's the dashboard, but let's say the lead engine. I'm always clicking in here and I do a new property squeeze of the day every day, right? So I want to get to the lead engine. So I'm going to drag that over here, right? So I have KV Core platform, but maybe I go a little nuts and I add a folder here. It's called KV Core. Because in my real estate business, right? So I have my KV Core and I can drag these other ones into there like this. So, you know, for my real estate practice, I'll have my KV Core tool, but I might also have like whatever I use for transaction management. I might have a link to like a workplace group or a group that all the people at my company, we all talk to each other. So I can put those nicely and neatly into these different folders. So I'll edit this one. This was lead engine, squeeze pages. Right, and I can go through and the ones I go to frequently kind of have them in these bookmarks. So not to beat a dead horse, I just want to highlight, I think this is tremendously useful when I think about the amount of seconds, even if I'm saving myself 2 minutes a day, you know, this really adds up over the course of a year in terms of productivity, time I'm not spending hunting and pecking and looking for the links to these various things that I frequently go to. Especially if you're doing presentations like me, if you're doing webinars like this, which a lot of you are probably finding you're doing more and more, it's good to have these links ready to go, like your Zoom login link and things like that. Okay, basic stuff, bookmarks, but I hope that's useful. Somebody let me know. Give me some feedback if you're watching live. Next thing I like to mention is this idea. This might be more for people who have teams or you own a brokerage. The local office I'm at, I hope she's not watching because I'm going to bust on her. But there's this like text thread with all the agents at the office. And anytime there's like an office announcement or something, everything happens over this like text thread with like 20 different agents numbers and people start reply, you know, it's like a reply all over SMS. So it was on my mind recently. I would recommend, you know, if you haven't, maybe set up a Slack. I specifically like Slack a lot. I think a lot of the universe has gone there, or Microsoft Teams or Facebook Workplace. One of the really nice things about Slack is you can get a free account. And I actually use this to talk to my wife and my brother. I have a Slack channel, like my family and friends. There's like a Slack channel where anytime they want to get a hold of me, they know they can just go into this channel and it'll beep. But the beauty of Slack, I don't really want to show off too much, but here, let me bring it over here. I don't know. I don't want to show off business stuff, you know. Give me 1 second. Just make sure I don't have anything on my other screen that's kind of proprietary to the company. Or a conversation that I don't want to show. Let me show one second here. And you can even have conversations in Slack with yourself. So just give me a second. Where is something clean I can show you guys? All right, this is probably okay. All right, basically what I want to show you is you see these up here at the left. These could be like the different ventures. Like this M1 is actually like where I talk to, you know, my brother and some people who work with me, like personal friends and family. And then I have another one for one of my other ventures in here. But what's nice is that I think a lot of people are using Slack these days. You could even use this to talk to your customers and create a private group almost in here. But if you have a team or a company, I recommend for productivity's sake, setting up a Slack or of course a Microsoft Teams. And you can do this for free. There's like paid accounts. And you might find if you're watching this and you're in that situation that you really gain a lot of benefits out of doing this. Here, let's actually, just remembering, I can just show a conversation with myself. Another benefit is that you can use Slack in particular to have channels where you store resources. So as a real estate team, say you're working with your admin or the other buyer's agents, you can have different conversations going with them at all time. There's an app on your phone, it's really convenient. And you can also have channels where all you do is you post resources like links to different tools that you frequently need and things like that. So, oh my God, there's one on here that's hilarious. I got to get rid of that. Hope you guys didn't see that. That was a joke between me and a friend. All right. So Slack, that's another piece of productivity advice. Anybody watching live, do you have any feedback? I mean, is any of this interesting or useful to you? Remember, I know a lot of you guys are at companies that have your own private intranets. So there's workplace.facebook.com. Great point, Dennis. Dennis is saying he does the same type of thing with Dropbox shared folders. Like that's another thing we should have on here. Definitely. A lot of people don't use Dropbox or Google Drive. I tend to use Google Drive, but it's very similar functionality where you could share everything in your office into that Dropbox or Drive. So thanks, Monica. Yeah, we got another vote for Dropbox in the chat there. So yeah, definitely great call. Instead of dropping files in Slack, Dropbox is a great place to go. Also, I'm pretty sure Slack integrates with Dropbox and Google Drive. I know it integrates with Google Drive, but like anytime somebody shares a Google Drive with me, my Slack beeps. And I bet you could do the same thing with Dropbox, I'm pretty sure. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, so Slack, there's Facebook Workplace, there's Microsoft Teams. If you aren't interacting with the other people you work with in that way, go for it. I really like Slack. I kind of like Slack because I feel like most people, especially if you're working with a lot of people who have actual like corporate jobs, maybe it's just me because I'm in the tech world, but a lot of the customers you have will actually have a Slack account. So you might find that you have like a channel where you can talk to all your customers and keep all your business in this one place. You can invite them in. Dennis is also posting a vote for Evernote. Yeah. I never got on that bandwagon, but I know it's awesome. I mean, it's probably evolved a ton since the early 2010s when I probably first got my account. But definitely, Evernote's a great way to go too. So it doesn't really matter what you use, right? It's just a matter of using the darn thing and getting everybody on your team on board. And I think a lot of this, collaboration type thing is about getting everybody using the same thing. And some of these bigger tools that aren't too niched, Evernote, Slack, Facebook groups and things like that, it's kind of easy to get people to just throw the app on their phone and then you can interact in there. Even if you're not using a proper transaction management platform, you could turn Evernote into that, right? And have everybody kind of talking around the same notes, I believe, or in Slack and so on. So cool. So that was productivity stuff and tools. I'm going to do Facebook group, Microsoft Teams. Other thing I like to use, I don't know, by show of hands, if anybody wants to let me know what you use, but I have found that using Todoist.com is the one I love. We use Asana internally here. It's very similar. There's a lot of these little kind of task management platforms where you can map out tasks from day to day and kind of work a getting things done sort of methodology for yourself and keep everything organized. So Google Tasks has this. They've recently added some functionality that might make me use them. They never had recurring tasks, for example. I think they have that now. But Todoist is one that I just really like. I like that I can set up projects across my different ventures, my different areas of life. I manage all my like utility bills I got to pay. If my wife wants me to do something, I'll throw it into a specific folder in here, and you can kind of run your whole life out of this. And you can also share to do projects with other people. So you could build a project template, for example, with everything that happens every time you have a new pending deal at your office, if you don't want to get a platform that's built for that. And you could have this template that gets shared, and you create the new project, and then you invite the agent who's working on that deal, for example, in there. So great. Lanito uses Todoist. I love Todoist, man. I don't know. Something about it, like the interface, there's a little bit of a learning curve, but maybe I can bring it up. I just don't want to show, I don't think too many people on the call would want to show their whole to-do list. We're all doing crazy stuff in our lives. Let me see if I can bring it up though and show an example. Just like Slack. I never know who's sending me a dirty GIF or whatever, So But yeah, a lot of these they're very project based. If you're working at getting things done methodology, where you kind of wake up every day and you get to inbox zero, meaning you come up, you look through all the stuff you have, your email, your Facebook inbox. Here, actually, that would be a good thing for me to show off. I'll just show this right here. Let me get rid of the slightly embarrassing task I have right here. Okay, I just want to show you this. So like here's an example. I have a recurring, and it says Facebook 0 and Gmail 0, right? So basically every day I get this reminder when I get started to go in Facebook 0. What that means is that I go and look in my Facebook messages and I make sure there's nothing there. And I look in my personal Gmail and I make sure there's nothing there, meaning I process all my email and I get rid of everything and I create tasks for myself in my task manager. And then for say my inside real estate job here, what I'm doing right now, I have another task in there to check that email and check that Facebook. So every morning I come in, there's a today, which I didn't do this morning. I got sidetracked. But most 3 to 4 times a week, I definitely go through this process. And then you run through all your tasks and nothing really falls through the cracks. That's the essence of getting things done. I highly recommend you read that book if you haven't, or you get familiar, watch some videos on that methodology. But basically Todoist would be a good tool you could use for executing getting things done. So, and again, it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be Todoist. It can be, you can use KV Core maybe for this. I prefer something that allows me to do my professional life alongside my personal, which is why Todoist. Another productivity tip here, Google Calendar recurring. You guys who watch a lot of my webinars, I always talk about this. There's certain things, I'm just going to share. I don't think there's anything really weird on here. I got a light calendar this week. Do my TPS reports. Let's see. I have this, see this right here? Inboxes 0 every morning from 9 to 10 a.m. That's how I start my day. So in my mind, this means I go into everything and I do all my tasks in Slack. I should probably didn't change the name of this, but I probably had this recurring appointment on my calendar in some form for like 5 to 10 years, where the day starts with just processing all the incoming stuff. So that throughout the day, if people are throwing crap at me, I don't worry about checking my email. Unless I'm looking for something specific. If people are messaging me like crazy and I can't get back to them right away, I don't stress. I know that every morning I'm going to come in and I'm just going to clean out all these inboxes. And I really do, now that I'm talking through this, I really do think a getting things done type productivity methodology is something almost any real estate pro could benefit from, because there's so much different stuff, flying at you. Every deal you're doing is a project. Every buyer you're working with is a project. Every listing is a project with its own set of tasks that need to be done next. And it can become really overwhelming unless you do have a proven kind of methodology for knocking that stuff out. So I'll show you the book again. I'm sure you guys, who's read it, who's watching live, I'm sure like half the people have had to like at least know what this thing is. Yeah, Dennis has. It's just like I go back and like I'll skim through it. It's in my Kindle. I'll skim through it every now and then as a reminder. And every time you do, you get better insight. It really goes deep. Like he does like 10,000 foot view. He does like 3 to 5 year planning. I've never really gotten the discipline going for that. But the core of like the daily processing of your crap and getting it all into a box and maybe doing a weekly review. For me, it's usually Monday morning. I just go through everything and make sure, I catch up on everything. That process, man, that could really turn into money for people. I really believe that. Because if you're not doing that kind of thing, you're missing opportunities and you're letting stuff slip through the cracks and it's just causing a drain on you. So yeah, getting things done right there. So the Google Calendar recurring, what I was talking about was, schedule time for that. Schedule time, if you can, like for, I haven't been too disciplined, but I talk about doing a daily property search of the day, right? Property search of the day post. Or maybe it just becomes a daily thing that's like 1 hour of marketing, for your business. It's surprising how many people, because of the way real estate runs, is you get busy with a few deals, of course, and you don't market for like a month straight. Like you don't do anything to generate new business because you have 4 or 5 pending deals or whatever it is. You have 2 pending deals that are chewing up your time. But if you put it on your calendar and it's like an appointment with yourself and you don't let anything else get in your way, of course, that's going to turn into money because, the marketing is all about consistency. Dennis says the YouTube versions of Getting Things Done are great. I've never really watched YouTube Getting Things Done. Another productivity tip is just anything you need is probably on YouTube. Yeah, cool. Yeah, like he's probably got, I see here, he's got some speeches. There's a 45-minute video here.
Delighted to be here.
Yeah, cool. Like here's a speech from him in 2007 I'll share with everybody. You know, maybe a shortcut to reading a book would be just watch what he's doing. The essence of it is really just cleaning out those boxes daily, creating tasks for yourself. You know, and then you can evolve. You can go deep into his methodology and go a lot further. There's also a great Tim Ferriss interview that I listened to recently, a couple months back. If you listen to Tim Ferriss's podcast, I think he had David Allen on. I know he did in the last year. So cool. Yeah, I had another bullet point here. Gmail shortcuts, inbox zero daily. The Gmail shortcuts, you know, there might be a little bit of a curve to learning that, but I'm going to share my email here. And I think a lot of people don't do this, but it could tremendously, this is how I process my email. No joke, right? I come in here and I go check. Oh, I need to look at that one. Check. Oh, I need to look at that one. Check. And what I'm doing is I'm using XJ. These are shortcuts in Gmail. And then I just hit Y and it archives all of those. You can see a little loading and it got rid of all those for me. And then once I do that, I usually have like 5 or 6 things I need to pay attention to and I process. It's part of my GTD methodology. So if you're using Gmail and you're not using shortcuts, the takeaway here is to go into settings. I just click the gear right here, click all settings. And then there's a spot right here where it says keyboard shortcuts. Turn those on and then click the learn more. And I promise you, this will change your life once you learn what the shortcuts are. So Gmail, keyboard shortcuts. I want to get you guys an article that just explains what they all are. Here's a blog post. So 60, I probably use like 5 or 6 of them. This guy uses 33 of them. The ones I use are reply. I use the R all the time. I use the, I do use the reply all, the A, jump to newer, the J and K. But just if you suffer through and watch some videos about this and maybe just spend a week trying to master these, man, you're going to find, I'm telling you, you're going to find like an hour a week just in this. It's like crazy. You can find an hour a week just in this alone. If you're using GTD and then you're using shortcuts, if you're using both those things, you're probably going to find 4 or 5 hours extra time a week. And if you think about what your hourly, what you get paid hourly, you know, if you divide your income up by whatever it is, 2,000 hours a year, this is really worth it. I mean, you could master using shortcuts. It's not that complicated. In about a half hour, you could probably develop the habit and get used to what everything is. You know, print out a little card for yourself. Like I use Compose to create a new email. I use Reply. 3. I use about 7 of these maybe. And then a tab. So yeah, hopefully I'm curious who's watching. There's not a lot on today, but does anybody use shortcuts on a regular basis? Or does everybody already do this? And I'm just saying, but you're going to find hours right here if you can do this. So hope that helps somebody. And then I had Dropbox and Google Drive. I don't think these kind of go without saying. It's funny, a lot of people still have files all over their computer in Microsoft Word. Stop doing that. That's all I'll say about that. You'll try to use web-based places where you can store stuff because, you know, you want to be able to, if you leave the computer at the office or you leave your laptop behind, you want to be able to access everything from your phone. I have a feeling in this day and age, most people watching this video, if you're using KV Core regular, you probably aren't in this camp. But that's it. Just some productivity stuff. I'm sure there's 100 other things. Oh, here's another one. Boom. YouTube 2x speed. One of my favorites, right? So YouTube, you can go to our playlist here. You can watch me do these webinars, okay, right, at 2x speed. So anytime you're watching stuff, I tend to, and I think I've talked to other people who do this, the 2x a lot of times is too fast, right? But the 1.75 and the 1.5 playback speed, I'll be playing, I watch videos all the time. I subscribe to like all these different things I want to learn. You guys probably do too. But I'll be playing FIFA Like there's never a down moment in this day and age, right? I'll be playing FIFA 19, kind of zoning out, but you could have one of these videos on, and while you play one FIFA game, you could watch a 45-minute training of something at 1.5 speed, you know, be done, or 1.75x speed, and be done by the end of the video. So the way to do that is you click on the gear right here, and you click playback speed. And this is huge, guys. If you're watching the replays of this at insiderealestate.com/webinars, or you're watching anything else, definitely use that. Unfortunately, for some reason, Facebook does not offer this. It's very frustrating. As far as I know, unless somebody wants to correct me on that. But Facebook does not offer the ability to watch videos at fast speed unless they've changed that. You can definitely do that in our learning portal, right? In the learning portal in KV Core, I'm pretty sure you can watch all of the agent success plan and everything else in there. So if you find yourself watching videos and you're kind of bored and your attention is kind of wandering, try putting it on the 1.75x. Your brain is kind of tuned in, and in order to concentrate at that speed, you can do it, but you can't really let anything else too much creep in other than maybe just scoring a goal on some dude over in Spain or something, some anonymous guy on FIFA 19. So, but yeah, definitely if you go into the core learning portal and you're going through that content right now, I'm pretty sure you can 2x speed those as well. What's goal? I was like, Ernest, I was like, what's GOL? Duh. Golazo. But yeah, that's my productivity hack here. I got to put that one on too. YouTube 2x speed. Make sure you watch training videos while playing Xbox games. That's a huge productivity tip we all need. But guys, there's so much awesome information out there. You know, I tell my kids they're learning. We do a form of homeschooling that's not too curriculumized, and I tell them, like, you can be learning, like always be learning. ABL, you can be learning every minute and be entertained at the same time. So it's all about leverage. You know, putting as much good stuff in your head as possible. I don't know about some of the things my kids watch, you know, but they're kids. But you know, we can, as professionals, we can always be enhancing our skills. We can go watch that video of Dave and Alan tonight while we're playing FIFA, we're playing Fortnite, whatever we're doing to veg out. Maybe our wife's watching something or our husband's watching something on TV that we really don't care about. We throw the headphones in and we watch it 1.7x 5 speed, this Dave and Alan video. All right, I'll get off my horse on this. Guys, let me know what you thought of this content. I know it's a little outside of the beaten path. We usually do talk about KV Core and practical stuff, but you know, you're going to get more out of the technology you use if you have, I think, if you have these systems in place. And it's all about efficiency and finding more time in the day. You know, you can either use the time too to do more business, or if you're working 40 hours a week now, you know, there's a chance you might be able to make the same amount of money working 30 hours a week if you just invest some time, you know, brushing up on these skills right there. So, yeah, thanks, Dennis, for the feedback. If anybody has anything else you'd like to talk about right now, we can do that live on the session. Otherwise, I'll let you all go. I mean, if there's anything you're struggling with KV Core, if you're running an ad and you're not getting results, you can let me know. Always let us know here on these sessions, or you can go into the Facebook group and just post. As soon as I hang up, I got to get this darn Facebook group working. It's working on my phone. I've been replying there and typoing like crazy. So if you've been trying to post to the group and I'm not approving your post, that's why. But yeah, guys, hit up the group, insiderealestate.com/Facebook group, insiderealestate.com/webinars to watch these sessions. And we'll see you tomorrow at the same time, 12 p.m. East. And that's about it. Thanks a lot.